So I've always been a huge podcast listener, and I feel like the fiction podcast movement has really only taken off within the last year. And it's a movement that really fascinates me because it really harkens back to those old radio shows. I remember in sixth grade, when I was really in feeling my oats in my creative writing spirit, started going to creative writing summer camps and all that good stuff. At the same time, I remember listening to The Monkey's Paw um, in my language arts class in sixth grade, and I was always fascinated by those kind of radio dramas. And it confused me that as I started seeing the fiction podcast movement really take off, I was surprised to see that nobody was really starting in the romance scene. There's so much fiction, there's so much romance audiobook popularity. Um, Audible Escape only recently shut down a couple of days ago, and I won't go off too long about that. But the point is, readers of romance are such voracious readers. It surprised me that nobody was investigating the fiction podcast space for romance. I also, as I love to read, but I listen to more podcasts and more audiobooks than I do actually sit down to read a book. So I would be listening to all these romance audiobooks and was like, God, I'm annoyed with two things. One, that the female actor is changing her voice to be the hero's voice, or in some case, if I was listening to like a queer romance, it was very difficult to tell when the characters are the same sex and same gender. I can't tell who's who. So that was one. And the other was, I felt like I shouldn't have to pay to listen to romance audiobooks because I am spoiled and I listen to a lot of fiction podcasts. It was so confusing to me that I had to, sorry, I know I live next to the L, so it gets loud sometimes. It was confusing to me that there was no opportunity to listen to romance fiction for free.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Rachel, did you have anything to add on that note?
Sure. Just that I've always loved radio shows. The first play I ever did, and I've done theater since middle school. So the first play I did, other than just like the occasional skit in elementary school, was a radio play. And I love the idea that you take away the visual element and then augment the story with these oral elements that are so creative, that they really put you in the place of like a Manhattan street or a club or something like that, whatever the episode calls for. Yeah, it's something that I didn't really know I needed until we did it.